let's get up to speed for today. Okay, thank you very much. Last week we had a discussion majorly on some parameters. Please, I hope we have our documents open. Please, you can try to open that document with you. I dropped on the group. If you don't have the document, please let me know so I can resend it. Can you hear me? Please, I believe that everybody has the documents, and today we'll be talking about version control. If you want us to repeat the last week class, you can signify so I can just answer questions as regards to last week class. Are you with me? Please, can someone just unmute?
Yes, sir, we're with you.
Okay, good. So I believe that we are good with last week class. Last week was just an introduction, blah, blah, blah. We just talked about things and major things. I'll just give you a recap of what we did last week. We talked about what DevOps is generally. We talked about the difference between DevOps and traditional IT. We talked about benefits of being a DevOps engineer and the benefits of DevOps to the whole ecosystem of software development. And we talked about DevOps lifecycle plan, DevOps lifecycle, and majorly we talked about the plan, develop, build, test, release, deploy, operate, and monitor. Also, we talked about key DevOps principles. One of them was CI/CD. We talked about automation, collaboration, and so on and so forth. And activities also, we talked about DevOps adoptions and so on and so forth, and generally things that DevOps is really used for and what DevOps engineers really do. I think we are now conversant with the concept of DevOps and what being a DevOps engineer really means. Now I'll be shooting on because of our time to today, what we have today. So today I will break today's class into two. So I won't just deal with a lot of everything. Like I will just deal with majorly what do I call it? The first 3, 4 part of it. Okay. So last week I said we should do something, and that thing is this. I said we should open a GitHub account. I believe that all of us here presently we have 1 or 2 GitHub accounts. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm trying to load my GitHub account. Okay. So sorry, please, I'm just trying to sign in. I may just be silent for a minute. I'm trying to sign in to GitHub. Sign in. Okay, good. So let me share my screen now. Good. So this is my GitHub account, for instance. So we'll be using this as a demo so we can see what we are doing. Are we good? So this my GitHub account. So in my GitHub account, so I'll just start with, so what GitHub majorly is, GitHub is a repository. So we have, last week I mentioned some other repositories that we have. We have GitLab, we have Bitbucket. So let me just show you, just give you an overview of it. So this is GitLab. So this is GitLab. We have Azure DevOps. So this Azure DevOps is owned by Microsoft, and we have Bitbucket, and we have a good number of repositories also. Please, do you understand that? So just to give you an overview of it now, but in this class we'll be dealing majorly with GitHub. So I'll just give you an overview of GitHub, what we have in GitHub, and so on and so forth. So this is my GitHub repository. So when you go to the right hand side of it, you have my profile. So this profile, everything about majorly about me, the owner of the repository, and so on, the followers, and so on and so forth. And we have repositories also. Repositories are things that I have involved myself in, I mean, projects that I have stored in my GitHub repository. You understand? I have different codes. Like now, anyone you see HCL is Terraform. This one is JavaScript code. This is Biceps code in this repository. You have Python code. You have Terraform code. You have Biceps. You understand? You can store different kind of codes in it. Please, do you get it? So so just to keep you up to speed on it, so you can store different kind of codes and so on. So the next thing again I'll talk about again, majorly organizations. So sometimes we have to connect our repository with organizations that we do projects with. You can connect to the organizations and so on and so forth. But don't bore yourself out. The major thing you actually need mainly now is just your profile and repositories. Do you get it? So let's use that one. We start with that. Also, now today I will teach you how to do your first commit today. So I will get let me see if I can get a document I can just drop git commands. So cheat sheet. Uh so I will just drop this PDF file on the group. You understand? So I will drop this PDF file on the group so you can be able to go back to it and read it when you have to understand what are the Git commands are used for this, Git commands are used for that, and so on and so forth. Do you understand? So please, are you guys following me? Um, please hold on. I'm trying to send the Git command. Yeah, this is Git cheat sheet. So just to get it. So that Git sheet, cheat sheet just talks about Git commands, those things that you used majorly in GitHub. What are the things you need to use so you don't just get bored along the way, kind of. You understand? So now I'm starting with creating a new repository. You get me? So I'm going to a new repository now. I need to create a new repository from here. So I'll just show you two methods to do it from my system on or from GitHub. So the best thing for now at this level, please just do it from your system, from the website. So not bore yourself along the way. So you have repositories and you create a new repository. So it asks for some parameters. What is this repository name? Let me give it training. Please, you can go back to this video to watch the process. Description. This is used for repository. General purpose. Configuration. You can set your configuration to public or private. If you set it to public, anyone on the internet can be able to go to your repository. If you set it to private, means that it's only you that can see it. You understand? That's it. So add readme. There's a file called a readme file. I don't know, maybe you have seen a repository before. A readme file is just a file that just talk about things about your repository and so on and so forth. For this demo, we will say yes, add the readme file. You understand? Add .git ignore. Don't you can just turn that one no, and add license. License is not compulsory. You need to put a license in it. Connect to GitHub apps to just one. So these are just the major parameters. The major one you need for now is just majorly the README file, just to we can have something in our repository. And also create a repository. Now it generates a new repository for me. So you can see my repository. Can you see it now? So this is the repository. I will cancel this. So this is the repository. Everything you can see about the repository, you can see it. So this is the file I have in the repository for now. It's called a README file. You can see it. That is the file I have in the repository for now. Also, we have branches. These are the branches. Presently, we have only one branch. I will teach you how to create other branches along the way from the git command. Do you understand? Good. And let's start with it. So you can create a file manually from the repository here, or you can upload files. Meaning that if I have a file or a document, I can say, okay, let me just give you, for instance, test. I'm creating a file called test. Test. Sorry, my file name is test dot YAML. You understand? So in this test for dot YAML, I just have trigger dash dash dash. So that's a sample. I make a commit. Please, can you see it? Make a commit, and it's committing majorly to the main branch.
Sorry, sir.
Please.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm so sorry. I've seen YAML before, and I am always trying to like understand what YAML is. Please, what is it supposed to be for? I've seen it even off GitHub, like some programming languages or some scripts carry YAML. So, what is it supposed to be, sir? Sorry.
So a YAML file, I'm going to get to it. So a YAML file is majorly for expressing what you want. For instance, the way you have a Python file, you have a Terraform file, you have a YAML file. YAML files are majorly used by systems. For instance, pipelines, and for instance, also uh, Docker, Docker or Kubernetes kind of infrastructure. They use YAML file also for their implementation. But nevertheless, please don't bore yourself with it. You have different kind of files. I'm going to show you on when we get to VS Code, just to show you sample of YAML files and also different kind of files and just kind of files. You understand? I will show you that. Okay, let me just give you an instance to just. I think I have one opened. Coming. So, do you see how this file is? Yeah. Do you see this file? Please, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. You see this file on the screen presently. You see the parameters. You see how the parameters are set. This is a sample of a YAML file. Do you understand? It's just setting the name and declaration. The way you have a JSON file. Have you seen a JSON file before? You are not responding.
Yes.
No. Okay. The way you have JSON file, you have uh YAML file also. You have different kind of files, just a declarative kind of file. So that's how it is. So this is just a sample file I created. Create test file. Creating a test file. That's the commit message. And I'll still explain this commit message along the way. If we're using we get to using the command line also. So and commit our file. So our file is already saved. Yeah, I see it. Now also you can use this method of uploading files. Uploading files is just like you uploading what do I call it? Normal files. You understand? Like you want to upload. I'm looking for a file that is. Just hold on. I'm looking for a file that can be uploaded. Please just, if I don't have any, I'll just ignore it. So I'm just looking for a sample file. So you can use that same method, the way I created a new file. You can add file and upload the files. Now, we are now moving to a place where we use Git commands. Now, we need to, first we'll start with cloning of a GitHub repo. Can you see it? To clone a GitHub, yeah, to clone a GitHub repo, you just click on this link. Yeah, code. You can see you can use HTTPS, SSH, or GitHub CLI. That is if I want to use any of those methods. But majorly just use GitHub HTTPS. You get it. Click on the link. I'll share my VS Code to you now. Can you see my VS Code? Can you still see my screen?
Yes, we can. Yes, I
You just
can.
go to clone Git repository. Click on this, paste in that URL that I copied. Just paste in that URL. Sorry, I had to touch the screen. Paste in that URL. Clone URL. Now I'm going to I want to save it here. Pipelines. Okay. Folder. Training. Select this folder to clone my repository inside it. So can you see down here that it's cloning the repository? After it has finished cloning the repository, it's going to bring a pop-up. Do I want to open it? You can just open it either way. So can you see the GitHub repository cloned? You can see my README file. You can see my test YAML file. Please, I just want to, you can go and learn the training on VS Code, but I'll just walk you through some brief ones around it. So some of the things you have to look at here is look at your source control, meaning that knowing the branch, how to do manual commits and so on and so forth. But nevertheless, I will just teach you how to use CLI instead. So it can be, it's kind of good. And you can be able to work with that Git cheat sheet that I sent to you on the group. Okay, let's start with using CLI. So I will use bash instead. So my own reason why I use bash is majorly for this point, so I can be able to know the branch I'm working on. Do you see it? Do you see what I highlighted? So that's my own reason why I'm using Git bash, so I can be able to know which branch I'm working on and so on and so forth. So let's start with creating a new file now. From VS Code, I can create a new file. Okay, we are going to be using that cheat sheet, so we can just bring all of it together. So firstly, Git init. Git init is majorly for initialization. You understand? It is initializing the whole Git processes for your file. Now, the next thing again I want us to look into is, please, I want us to be noting these commands so we can be able to try it at home also. Let's take it one after the other. So the next thing I want us to look at, let's look at the aspect of using git config. So this one is just I want to configure my username and password and so on. Sorry, my username and email following that cheat sheet I sent to you. That is to set username and email. So the reason why it is being done majorly is that, so in your repository, I'm thinking of switching. In your repository, you have a place that shows who is the person that made this last commit. It has your name on it, the email on it. Please, do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you have the name of who made that commit, because in GitHub, in Git, you have to work with a lot of other developers, and you have to move from a particular tree, is a tree-like structure. You have a main branch. From that branch, you can branch out from that branch and come back into that branch. You understand? Branching out of that branch, it means that you are branching out, creating a new branch, and it is giving you a copy of what you have in your main branch. So when you branch out from that branch, you make your changes and you create what is called a pull request back to that main branch. Please, I hope I'm not uh, giving information overload. Please, do you understand? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Anybody? Yeah,
Yes,
you understand that
understand.
aspect. So you have your main branch, branching out of it, making your changes or updates and so on, and making a pull request back to your main branch. That is the whole parameters you are trying to achieve. That is the whole workflow of Git and so on and so forth. So now I have continue. I want to create a new file now. Okay, let me call this file test2 dot what should I call this one? Let me call it a JSON file now. Please, can you see the difference between the AMD file, MD file, README file? Anything you see MD in the front is just a file that is not executed, that cannot be executed. It's just for like you want to write something down for people to be able to read. That's what you have in your MD file. The next thing again you have is your YAML file. Let me just copy something in the YAML file. Okay, I will do that on another branch. I'll just copy something that's YAML, like kind of a sample of YAML, and also a JSON file. A JSON file has different kind of parameters. This is not the class to talk about files, but it's just to show us Git process and so on and so forth. Now, I have done everything that I want to do in this after pulling my code from GitHub repository. I want to push my code back into GitHub repository. What will I do? I will just come here and write git add. So git add, after the git add, what should follow is the names of the files. I want to add, for instance, I want to add test.yaml. Do you understand? And I want to add this test.yaml, and I want to add test test2.json. Can you see it? So instead of me adding each files and blah 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 using that whole process, I can just write git add and dot and press enter. It will add all the files I made changes to. Do you understand? After you have a git add, the next thing you have to do is called git commit. So I think I showed you guys commit message initially that you have to write something inside it. So after you have written git commit -m, and you have to use your so you can be able to type what you want to type inside it. Like for instance, I want to write adding, this is my commit message, adding JSON file, adding JSON file. Can you see it? I've committed that message. The next thing is that I will have to do git push. It has pushed my changes into my GitHub repository. Now I want to show you my GitHub repository to see those files that I just pushed. So this is how my GitHub repository was initially. Can you still see my screen? Please confirm.
Yes, I see your screen.
Good. This is how my GitHub repository was before I cloned it. Now I've pushed my changes. I just need to refresh. You can see that I have my JSON file here now, and so on and so forth. You can see it write what my commit message. Do you see my commit message when I was adding it? And the last when I did it was just 1 minute ago. Can you see it? Now you can check your commits when what happened during all your commits. For instance, this was the first thing I did, which was my README file. The next commit I did was creating my YAML file. And the next commit I did, the last one I just did is just adding my JSON file. So while doing this, you can notice that it has what is called a commit details or hash. So for every commit that you have, it has an hash. That means like a generic key, a generic number that is generated to say, okay, this is your commit ID, this is what happened, and so on and so forth. Please, do you understand? So this is for tracking, efficient tracking of what was done, and so on and
I'm
so
sorry.
forth.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Chile. I
Yes.
remember that when you started, you mentioned Git init, Git as Git initiation, Git config, and like Git push, and then they have like meanings to them. But when you did this commit, what do you mean commit?
So how it is being done in GitHub. Before you okay, let's start with this. You have a main branch, you pull from that main branch. Do you get it? Now,
Yeah.
for you to be able to push back into that main branch initially, what you will do is number one, you add the file. That means you stage the file. You stage the file that these are the files I want to add.
Okay.
Do you understand? That is where you have git add, staging the files. Number two, you have your git commit. What is the message I'm adding to these files that I want to push back to my main branch? Okay, these files, this is the reason why I'm adding it, and so on and so forth. I just showed you my git commit message. You see it, this one. That is
Yes.
for the git commit. The message of why I'm adding the files, the reason why I'm adding the files, and so on and so forth. After that, you have what is called git push. Git push is now the one that's now going to push all those things, changes, and all these things, the files you want to push back to that repository. You are pushing it from your local system back to what? The repository. Do you understand the three stages?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So now, I think we have explained the aspect of Git, the initial aspect of that Git add, and so on and so forth. The next one I want us to, the next one I want us to work on is branching. So you can create a branch from the portal here. You understand? You can create a branch. Okay, I want to create a new branch and so on and so forth, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it from the portal. I want us to know how to do it from CLI. You understand? Because most of the time you work with CLI, but for you to know how to do it from portal, you can use just new branch, put the branch, put the branch name. What is the source of that branch? Note, see what I underlined. I highlighted here. I mean, I'm creating a new branch based on what I have presently on the main branch. Putting my branch name and create a new branch. Can you see it? Good. Now, I want us to look at creating a new branch from CLI. That means the command line interface. Sorry, I'm using um, CLI most of the time. Just know the meaning. CLI means command line interface, please. So here's it. You have a new branch. I want to create a new branch now. I hope you can still see my screen. Please let's confirm. I hope you can still see my screen.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, good. I want to create a new branch. I'll go to Git branch. Oh God, yeah. Git branch and sorry, please hold on. I'm trying to work with somebody. See, Git branch and the branch name. Let me use test branch. I'm not sure it's gonna work, but I've created a new branch called what? Git test branch. Can you see it? This is the new branch. Now I want to switch to that new branch I just created. You will write git switch. Yeah, am I switching to? I'm switching to test underscore branch. Can you see it? So guys, do you notice something? Initially, I was on my main branch. This is main branch. When I did git switch to my test branch I created, it switched towards my test branch. Can you see it? Now, I want to now make some updates in my test branch. I want to update the parameters and so on and so forth. For instance, I have my test.yaml. I want to get something and put it in my test.yaml file. I'm copying this, everything that's here. This is a sample YAML file. You understand? Let me just use this. Okay, so I have updated my test.yaml file with parameters in it. I want to update my JSON file also. Let me get a JSON file I can use. I'm coming, please. I just want to get sample JSON. Yeah. I want to just copy and paste a sample of a JSON parameter. So can you see the difference between JSON and YAML? I want to just look at the difference. So the person that's asking the question, you can see how JSON files are and how YAML file declarations are. You can see they are actually different. So that's just for us to see it. So, and that's not the topic for today. Now I've made my changes in my README file. Sorry, let me even make on that changes to my README file. Created new branch. Created new branch. Okay. So I made changes to my test.json file. I made changes to my README file. I made changes to my test.yaml file. So how do I add everything based on what I explained? I'll write git add space dot full stop. That's also is add everything, all the changes I have made in all the files, I just click on enter, it adds all the file. The next thing I do is git commit. Please let's note git commit. Git commit um git commit git commit. Let me say adding changes. That's my commit message. And the next thing I'm going to do is git push. Okay, please, can you see the difference now? So the reason why the git push is not working is that I created a new branch, and this is my initial time of pushing into that new branch. Please, do you get me? It's a new branch. I want to push to that new branch I created. What I ought to run is git push set upstream to test branch. Can we see it? Anytime you encounter this error, please, all what you just need to do, just copy this thing, knowing that you are what? You are pushing to a new branch that you created. Now, git push set upstream origin and test branch. Now push it. So it's going to push all the changes I made. Can you see it pushed everything to my what? My test branch. Okay, let's now go to let's go to GitHub and see what we just did. Can you see my screen? Please, can we confirm? Can you see my screen? Hello? Hello? Can you guys confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
You refresh. So just we are in branches presently. The last time we were here, 11 minutes ago, or how many minutes ago, we saw that it was only one branch that was here, and I've created a new branch. Refresh it. So you can see we have branches now. This is the default branch. The branches that I created now is I created test branch. Can you see it? Now, let's go to our code. So this is our main branch. Can you see that we have this pop up here? It says that test branch add recent changes that the main branch doesn't have. Can you see it? It has changes that the main branch doesn't have. Look at, for instance, main branch. You guys remember that I did some changes in this test.json file, and also I did some changes in my test.yaml file, but it's not yet in my main branch. Now, I want to, when we go to our test branch, you can see that those changes are actually in my test branch. Now we are in my test branch. In the test branch, you have those changes there. In our come in, please. Our test.yaml file, you can see the changes are there, but they are in our test branch, not in our main file branch. Now I talked about making a pull request. Now I want to show you how to make a pull request on GitHub. You understand? On GitHub, you can just go to create a new pull request, compare and pull request, or you can just click on here, create a new pull request. Do you understand? So let me just show you through this place, which will be better. This one, okay. Create a new pull request. Do you understand? I am pulling from the base branch where I'm pulling to is my main branch. Can you see it? Where I'm pulling from is from my test branch. You can see I want to make a pull request from my test branch into my main branch. Please note, look at this arrow. I'm pulling from my test branch to my main branch. Now, this is my pull request. So these are the files that I am changing, meaning that I am updating. For instance, in my README file, I am adding this thing, line 3 and line 4 to my README files. I'm just trying to explain everything one after the other. The next thing is my test.yaml file. I removed line 1 and 2, and I'm adding 1 to 22. So anyone you see red here means that I have taken it out. Anyone you see green, I'm adding them newly. Now on my JSON file also, I'm not taking anything out. The file was actually empty. I'm just adding things into it. Can you see it? Now I've checked the changes that's going to be done if I create this pull request. Now I have to create this pull request. Create a pull request. New pull request. Good. Now, in some scenarios, you have to create what is called approvers and reviewers, meaning that somebody needs to approve before you make a pull request. So I'll be taking this thing gradually, so you can be able to do it in the enterprise environment. So it's not just for your own sake. So you can be able to deliver in enterprise environments. So for instance, I want to assign this to myself, meaning that I must approve this myself. If this stuff needs to be approved by the person that's in this assigning. If I have a reviewer, I can add reviewers, but I am the only one in this place, kind of. I'm assigning it. I need to approve before this pull request can be created. Can you see it? And create the pull request. Now, this is a pull request. You see it? This is the pull request now. It was assigned to myself, blah, 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 blah. It has checked it. There's no conflict. If there's conflict, it's going to tell you that you have conflict, match conflicts. So you need to resolve your conflicts before you make a match. Okay, let me explain what I mean by match conflict. Our time is fast spent, but I will stop after this. So match conflict occurs when you have a main branch, right? You branch out of the main branch to make your changes. After that, you are making a pull request back into your main branch. But on the process of you making a pull request to your main branch, you realize that somebody has already updated that main branch before you. Or the code you are trying to put into your main branch, that code has been updated in the main branch before you even got here. So you now have to reconcile which changes need to go in. Do I bring in my changes in line 2 to 5 and take out the changes that are already in line 2 to 5 in that place? Or I need to remove my own changes and accept their own changes. So those are what is called match conflicts. Like you need to resolve those things before you can make a complete match. Please note it. Now, I want to make it has checked my code, seeing that I don't have a match conflict. It will now say, okay, the next thing I'm going to do is to match, right? Match my request. You can see it. These are other processes. This is squash and merge. Squash and merge means that it just removes the branch after merging, and so on and so forth. You have rebase. So rebase branch means that it makes me ensure that how do I explain that concept? A branch is in same path with the main branch. So that is what we call the rebase. So something like that occur most of the time when you have changes already done in your main branch before you now make a pull request to your main branch. So you have to rebase your branch before you make a pull request back to the main branch. But don't bore yourself with this squash and rebase. We'll come to it later. But majorly what you want to know here is make a match. Good. So match your pull request. Good. Confirm match and so on and so forth. Confirm match. So it is merging my code. Now, my code has been matched. You can see it changes here. My code has been matched. Good. Now, it's asking me that do I want to delete my branch after merging? I don't think I need to. I really want to. So my branch still remains. So let's go back to our code now. This is main branch. Please just notice, please, main branch. So in our main branch, you can see that Our main branch now contains the files that are in our training branch. The updates are there, I mean. So these are test file. You can see it's updated, and our README file is updated. Good. So anybody having any question for now, based on these little things I just talked about? Please, any question? Any question? Any question? Anybody with any question?
Yes, sir. I have a question. So,
Okay.
In a case where you are working with a team, what is the function of the pull request? That is number one. And then number two, you were talking about your on the CLI on that VS Code, you're talking about this branch thing. So what if I don't know if I understand properly the function of the branch, neither do I properly understand the function of the pull request. So creation of branch, is it that in a case where you don't want to affect the already existing document or files on the main branch or the base branch, you'd have to make your own separate branch? That is, I'm asking in respect to the switch branch you made.
Okay. Good. So let me respond to that. Good. So in an ideal system, you don't make changes to your own branch and not to the main branch. Do you understand? In an ideal system, you don't make changes to what? To your main branch. What you do is that you branch out from your main branch by creating a new branch. After that, you make your changes in your own branch. After that, you make a pull request to the main branch. Do you understand? So now look at, for instance, you have code that is in your main branch, created code that is working in production presently. Like that code is working in production presently. You can't just go there and begin to make changes on that code. It's wrong. If you want to make any changes, like you want to make a quick fix or a hot fix or any one of it, you branch out from that branch, that main branch. Make your changes in your own branch. The code in your own branch. Do everything you want to do in your own branch. Do you understand? You now make a pull request. That pull request is going to undergo approvals in the right settings, meaning that people need to review your code. Guys, line 1 to 3, 1 to 5, please go and update it. So somebody needs to review that code that you are pushing. He needs to have a second look or a second opinion on that code before that code is now merged into the main branch. So once it is approved, your pull request is approved, it goes into your main branch, and after that, you can now what? Deploy your main branch. So the sample of what I did now today is just to tell you that, okay, you have your main branch out from your main branch before you make any changes. Please note, make a branch out of your main branch before you what? Make any changes. After that, you make a pull request to your main branch, and that's how the Git processes work. Please, do you get it? And did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay. Olatunde, I'm trying to read your question. Can we have a drive with access to materials to each one? Okay, we'll talk about that after the. I'll just give me some minutes. We'll talk about that. We'll try to get that. That is what we promised, that we are going to get you videos on it, and also we'll let you know. I'm just trying to get a light on what the call. Yeah, thank you. Also, please, any other person who's on any question? Any other person? Yeah, good. So you can drop. Stop.
What?
Just check my chat.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, please, anybody has any other question? Anybody, based on what we have taught today, making a new branch, making a pull request, Git commit,